Hi and welcome back to our September market update. Hopefully you all caught the August market update, and in this we want to give you a bit of an update on what's going on in your area. We also deliver it to thousands of homes locally, and we have it available on our website if you want to stop and have a read of it. It was a good month, August, and last month it was also when the Commonwealth Games came to an end. England finishing just second in the medal table. They had 176 medals in total versus Australia's 178. We thought it'd be a bit of fun to look at what gold, as in the gold medal, what gold prices have done in the last decade versus house prices. So basically the average price for a property over the last 10 years has increased by 65%. And you'd be interested to hear that the average price for gold has increased by just under 40%. So bricks and mortar beats the gold. And also, if you're looking at FTSE's grown by about 32% over that decade as well. So if you ever wanted clarification that property is the best thing to invest your money in, there it is. We've just obviously got the results now for the 2021 census as well. That shows that population between 2011 and 2021 grew by 3.5 million. Oddly, households only grew by 1.4 million though, so work out from that what you will. But we are, as we thought, a growing population. Now, looking at the national market, last month I reported that HMRC said in June there were 95,420 transactions that completed, and it was the first drop below 100,000 during the year 2022. They actually got that wrong and corrected it to 101,190. So I say they got it wrong. They work it out based on stamp duty, and there's often a bit of a lag. So it caught up to say that it was over 100,000 transactions completed in June. In July, they've estimated 104,470 transactions are completed. So we're on track for 1.2 million transactions at least. We're actually at 742,000 based on the first 7 months up to July being included. So we're still on track for a good average of 100,000 transactions per month, which will leave us on around 1.2 million for the year. House price growth over the last 12 months up to the end of June was 7.8%. And if you remember last month, I told you that house price growth up to the end of May in the previous 12 months was 12.8%. So it doesn't take a genius, 5% difference. That is a significant drop, you'd think. However, if you think about what was happening the previous year, last year up until the end of June, you had the stamp duty incentive, and that's had a real impact. So lots of transactions completed and went through. You were also able to buy without the additional stamp duty, which inflated prices at that point. So I think 7.8% is a reflection of what a normal market is post-pandemic. Average asking price of properties coming to the market in August actually fell for the first time. It fell by 1.3%, and this is stats provided by Rightmove of listings that came to their website. They also backed it up by saying that's not anything to panic about. It's the same every year. August is the month where average asking prices do reduce. I suspect one of the factors playing into that is that homeowners that have got kids probably choose not to list their property during that month. So the stock that's coming to the market may be the people that are not with children, and therefore the values of those are slightly lower. We've also got a lot of holidays taking place in August, but towards the end of this report I'm going to tell you how we found August as a business. So nothing to worry about. I think the national market's still looking pretty positive. Good number of transactions still going on, and the market continues in the same fashion. We're often looking at the land registry figures based on completed sales, and they do it annually, but they do it up to the month. At the moment, May is the most recent statistics that we can have access to. During that period of time in the Worcestershire area, 45% of the sales that came were in Worcester, 14.9% of the sales were in Malvern, and 9.6% of the sales were in Droitwich. Post-pandemic, land registry figures show such a difference in the number of transactions taking place. You can really see what happened after that lockdown. So in 2020 to 2021, the figures were extremely high. We're now comparing 2021 to the end of May 2022, and you wouldn't be surprised to hear that they are down the number of transactions. In Worcester, they're down by 27% at 4,030 transactions completed. In Malvern, they're down by 28%, down to 600 transactions completed. And in Droitwich, they're significantly down, and they're down by 40%, which is 385 sales. We've talked about this before, however. In that previous year, in the 2020 to 2021 period, there were still a lot of new builds coming to the market that were being built during lockdown periods, and they all completed. We've now not got that influx of additional new build properties. This is more residential sales of people moving on to the next home. Average price, they've got Worcester average price at the moment is at 232,600. Droitwich average price is at 263,800. And Malvern are at 287,800. So significant prices there. I thought it'd be interesting as well, continuing the theme of looking at the decades as we compared with the gold prices, just what's happened with the average price over the last 10 years. So Malvern have increased by 49.9%, which is massive. Droitwich at 44.6%, Worcester at 33.6%, and then Worcestershire as an area, average prices have increased by 40.3% over the last 10 years. Landlords, investors and tenants, this bit's for you as we talk about the lettings market. Lettings market still fluctuating. Worcester saw an increase of 5%, however Droitwich saw a reduction of 7%, and also Malvern is below the Worcestershire average. So at the moment, the average price to rent in Worcester is £769 per calendar month. The average price in Droitwich is £726 per calendar month. Now you'd think with the values in Droitwich that the rent would be expensive as well, or higher than it's looking there. Actually, I think it's because the majority of the properties that are let out in the last 12 months have been flats. So the average rent is taken from the average whatever it is, and a lot of those have been flats. In Malvern, the average rent is £777 per calendar month. Nationally, the rental market has grown yet again, and it's the strongest it has grown since ONS records began. It's 3.2% higher already this year. Predictions were that it was going to be 5% higher by the end of the year, but they've been changed now, and actually people are predicting it's going to be 8% higher by the end of 2022. So average rents are increasing in general. Pockets of our areas that we're working on, you can see average rents might be slightly lower than nationals, but it's actually seen that increase in rent is happening across the board, across the nation. So looking now nationally at how long it's taking properties to sell. Last month I told you that in June, properties on average took 32 days to sell. In July increased, but only slightly, so 33 days to sell on average. Now that's the first part done. You then obviously got to get through the conveyancing process, and unfortunately that's taken a hell of a long time, at 136 days on average, which is 4.5 months. For you, if you're thinking about being in a new place next spring, you really got to be getting your property listed now. If you want to move before Christmas, you're cutting it fine as an average. There are locally, I can give you some confidence that it's not taking as long as those times. I'll talk to you later about how quick we've been selling our properties. But yeah, on average, you've got to be looking at around 4.5 months for a transaction. That's for a number of reasons. Vendors within chains not being able to find the next one, although I think, and we'll show you that there's more stock coming to the market. And also sometimes the conveyancing is a slow process, but it's been made slower by holidays, by the amount of workload that some solicitors are trying to deal with, and some people just not being proactive enough with their sales progression. So hopefully it won't be the same for you if you've bought or sold via ourselves, but those are the national averages. You can imagine as agents, we often get stopped in the street or asked how the market's doing at little events or barbecues and bits and pieces. And I ask my staff, actually, I get the feedback from them on how their month has been. We've now concluded August and they've absolutely smashed it. For a month where you think most people are going to be on holiday or with their kids off school, every sales office has hit their instructions target and exceeded it. We've sold over £20 million worth of stock, which is actually 58 sales in total. That's including new homes. It's a significant number there. And one office is getting their sales agreed on their properties within 19 days and achieving on average 103% of asking price, which is absolutely fantastic. As I said, it also should give you a bit of confidence that August, being a month that we would often predict to be slightly quieter, has exceeded expectations. More stock coming to the market than we thought was going to happen is again exceeding expectations. This market really is a lot stronger than the journalists are trying to put out there, so should give you a bit of confidence. I'm going to talk now about the economy. So I promised you I was going to finish with the economy. Hope you're not switching off at this point, because I know it's not everyone's favourite bit of news at the moment, but we want to give you a bit of confidence on what's really going on. So in the year to July, inflation hit double digits at 10.1%. This is the first time since 1982, which is significant. The Bank of England base rate also went up last month to 1.75%, and we learned from the last time we filmed this that when you watch this, they may have gone up again. We are predicting by December that they could be at 2.5%, so we are expecting potentially in September that will continue to creep up. Predictions are actually that inflation is going to peak in November at around 13%. So we're at 10.1% now, and it's likely to increase to 13% in November. However, positive news, this time next year, July, August, we're expecting it to be around 5%. So short-term pain, long-term gain, I think you'll find it's going to get back to a good recovered state. UK economy shrank in quarter two by 0.1%. First quarter of this year, it increased by 0.8%, but it shrank in quarter two. And for those that watched last month, they know a recession is based on 2 quarters of reduced growth. And unfortunately, we've got our first one now at 0.1% reduction. I'm predicting that it probably will be the same for quarter three. It's the quarter where a lot of people go away, and no spending's probably being reined in at the moment, because you wouldn't be going out to restaurants a week before you're going on holiday. And these are things that are going to have an impact on those numbers. So growth quarter one, 0.8%. In quarter two, it shrank by 0.1%, and quarter three, we're in September now, we're waiting to see what that's going to say. It won't be until November time till you hear it, but again, what are the journalists going to be latching onto. They'll be throwing everything at you to say the market's stalling, the property prices are dropping, but it doesn't happen. Recessions don't bring house price reductions. I know it means that people are saving some money, and with the energy crisis coming up, I think we're all sensible to do that. One thing I'm seeing as I'm driving around is that the price of fuel seems to be coming down significantly. Looks like it's about 40p less than it's been when it got maxed, so hopefully that's a bit of good news coming for us as well. So that's the wrap up for September market update. Thank you ever so much for watching. We deliver this to 26,500 homes. It's available obviously to watch on YouTube. You've also got access to it on our website if you go to our news section. So if you want to read through the main detail, please feel free to do so. If we can assist in any way, we'd love to help out. As I said, August was way better than we expected, and we're hoping that September and going through to the end of the year is going to be too. So anything we can help with, get in touch with us via the normal channels, social media, or via email.